equality operators. So in this video, we'll see the difference between the equality operators, that means 2 equals in JavaScript and 3 equals. Maybe you've seen that before, maybe not. So let's get started. So I started by defining a variable year 2040, and I will be checking if this year is equal 2040. If it's equal to 2040, I will log to the console. It is the digital era. As you see, it is the digital era. That means this condition is true. That means the year is 2040. Now the same if, let's do it, but with 3 equals. As you see, we also got it is the digital era. So what's the difference? The difference is the third equal is for the type of this variable. So that means if we assume, let's not assume, let's just make this 2040 a string. That means this year is 2040 and this year is 2040, but the year and the 2040 should be the same type. That means this one should be printed. So let me just print that 2 equals, and the same here is with 3 equals, right? Now let's save and check. As you see, this condition here is true because year is 2040. We've already learned in the last video about conversion and coercion in JavaScript. So coercion has already happened here in this year because this condition is basically the year, which is 2040. It was a string, it's transformed into a number, and then 2040 is equal to 2040. Although 2040 as a string is not equal to 2040 as a number. So this is false. That's why it's not getting into it. So now let's go further and define a new variable. I will call it input. This input will be prompt provide your future year. So this one should be in parentheses. So as you see, the prompt method in JavaScript gives us this prompt here where you can give, as you see, provide your future year. So let me just log to the console. I will log this input to the console, and let's just to test it 23. So as you see, by typing 23, it will also be printed here. So now what we want to do, we want to create a condition. This condition is the following. Now if the input is equal to 2040, then it's the digital era, right? So let me just comment these. Already done with these, and let me save. So now if I type 2040 and we are using that means type doesn't really matter in our case. So let's just submit, and as you see, it's the digital era 2 equals. Now what if I replace the 2 equals by 3 equals? Let me comment this one, we don't need it now, and let's type 2040. Now what should happen is the 2040 is a string, because what we write in the prompt usually is a string. So 2040 is a string, and we are checking if the 2040, which is the input, is equal to the 2040 as a number. But as you see, 3 equals, that means we are checking even the type, and that's false. That's why we shouldn't see anything logged to the console. So let's try it out. As you see, nothing is logged to the console. So now what we could do is grab this whole prompt and do the conversion ourselves using the number method. Now what happens is, like, this string which you are going to pass inside the prompt will be changed using the number method, will be converted to a number, and this number would be 2040. So let's check it out. Let's give 2040, and as you see, it's the digital era, and it's basically 3 equals here. Nice. One more time, let's check 2030. Nothing is there. What we could do is, let's just write an else statement, and this else will be basically saying something like this year is boring. And what we could do is, let's use the connotation, so the input. So let's check now. Let's try 2030. This year, which is 2030, is boring. So let's try 2022. 22 is boring. Now one more time, let's check 2040, and we should get it's the digital era. And with that, I hope you understood the difference between 2 equals and 3 equals, which are the 2 different ways of equality operators. As I've said, 3 equals means that we are even checking the type, while the 2 equals is just checking. While using the 2 equals, no JavaScript coercion will take place. Like the video and subscribe to the channel to be from the 1% developers. See you.